how have the twins been? Have you checked in? There are articles about how the twins are doing, and it seems like they've all become omnivores again, except for Charlie. Actually, I think the stressed out one, right? He's become a vegetarian.
I'd say they're still omnivores, but they're more leaning way more towards the plant-based. And that's,
Right.
probably, man, I wish I could make a documentary and everybody switches the next day, and a lot of people have, like anecdotally, it's like I said, I don't have that data of how
Mm.
many people actually switch their diet after seeing the program. We know that tens of millions of people have seen the program, all over the world. I can't tell you exactly the numbers. Netflix can, and they told me, and I can't tell you, but a lot of people have seen the film, and they're what comes through to me, it feels like it's mostly, people saying, "Oh, saw your film, the whole family's changing," and I just want to say, keep on,
Right. Don't quit.
don't quit, do your B12 and find some food that's tasty and be sure to eat a lot of, get your protein from, good sources. There's just a lot of vegan bad food out there. And I want people to thrive. I want people to feel as good as I feel on it. I want the, you know,
Hmm.
I, it started out this thing, being for the animals. And then I realized that, humans are an animal too, and you got to change our behavior
Hmm.
to get people to care about themselves, then maybe they can think about other creatures. But there's just,
Yeah.
it goes through my head when somebody says they love bacon. I think, oh my God, if they, the only time these pigs that we saw down in North Carolina see, are outside is when they're taken on the ramp, is when they're piglets. And when they're, several months later, when they're brought out to go to the slaughterhouse, that's the only daylight that they get to enjoy directly on their skin. And it's those places are just full of urine and excrement. I mean, every poultry farm I've ever been to, uh,
Hmm.
you open up that door and you get hit by that ammonia, and you see these
Hmm.
thousands and thousands and thousands of animals on. They have like, it's like the chicken farmer says they have like a free range. In that case is they have as much space as a sheet of paper to walk around on,
Hmm.
and it's
Hmm.
full of excrement and urine, and you just get your face just gets hit with that ammonia. I think this is what these animals are living in daily. So you're eating your chicken sandwich or you're eating your eggs, and you think, oh, I need to
Hmm.
have my whatever. It's like if people could feel the suffering just for a second, they would have that kind of institutional memory if they had classrooms go into a CAFO, a concentrated animal feeding operation, and watch,
Hmm.
see and smell where their food came from. A lot of these discussions wouldn't happen, and people would just be, they'd be like, "What else can I do?" But we're shielded from that. And the problem I have, I think everybody has that's been in this industry, and you've been through there. It's like you have this memory of what's going on behind the scenes. You've seen behind the curtain, you
Hmm.
know, of what it takes to get food to, the McNuggets or
Hmm.
the fried food, whatever people are eating. And
The
it's like
bacon.
the pain and suffering is just enormous. And if they understood that, they felt it, you know, but when
Hmm.
people sort of joke about it, like, oh, I need my bacon, I need my cheese. It's like, you know, even as a scientist, that I'm on another film right now, the scientist said to me, I need my milk. And, she, I'm just trying to think, yeah, I'll just tell you, it's just like the grocery store. This is a film I'm doing on plastics. And all the receipts that you have a BPA on them. It's a chemical compound, and it comes off in your hand. It affects your endocrine system. And every time she goes to a grocery store, and I've been to a lot of grocery stores with her on this project. She always tells the checkout counter clerk, "Do not touch the receipts; they're bad for you." And she's like a machine. She does it all the time. And one time I didn't do that to the waitress we were eating, and she says, "You lost an opportunity to talk about this." And I said, "You're right." And the next morning, when she was having her coffee with whole milk, I said, "Here." Want me to tell you where your milk comes from? So well, that's the one thing I do that, and she's become vegan since watching, mostly vegan since watching, but needs her whole milk for her coffee. And, she just doesn't like the taste of it. I said, well, here's my opportunity. She says, well, there's no harm done by drinking the milk. I said, where do you think the milk comes from?
Right.
2 days after that cow gave birth, it's this baby's taken away. It feels the same way about your kids, that you do with your kids just because it's a cow. And,
Yep.
then what do you think they do with the male cows? The male cows become veal. The baby cows are, sent into this endless cycle of being, raped and giving birth and having its babies taken away so you can have your milk that you can't get away from. And I just laid into her for about, a minute. And I just could just see her sort of crestfallen. It's like, well, you won't hear me talk about it again, but like that's what opportunities are like. It's like I don't want to do that with
Yeah.
everyone. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that vegan that's always ruining everybody's meal. I don't. But somebody asks me, I'll tell them. But I'd rather make a documentary, which is more like dropping a bomb on culture and watching it do its work. It's just more
Hmm.
effective. I don't want
Hmm.
to be angry. I don't want to be, have my cortisol spike up every time I see a friend drinking milk or, ordering something. And
Hmm.
it is difficult. How do you
Yeah.
navigate a world full of so much sorrow when you know that you can see a little bit further than everybody else? And I'm sure
Hmm.
there's blind spots in my own life. You know, I
Louis, don't give up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What are your blind spots? We want to
well,
know.
I'm just talking about blind spot. I mean, there's a lot of hypocrisy in all of us, right? I'm an environmentalist, but yet, I fly. My girlfriend I started dating. I mentioned before we started this. She's a natural clothing designer, and I'm thinking, well, I've got some cotton clothes, and she says, yeah, but they're all dyed with petrochemicals. And it's like
Hmm.
you start looking at your life, like how much plastics is in your life, and it's all petrochemical.
Yeah.
All, and you think we have such a long ways to go on a lot of things, and we
Hmm.
have blind spots everywhere. But we're all trying to push at these various aspects to try to make the world a slightly better place. And maybe what we're doing is just passing the baton to another generation rather than a sprint or a marathon. It's really a race that
Hmm.
maybe it'll be completed by a future generation.